That was crazy. Just saw somebody, but let me properly explain what I was trying to say. Because I think I didn't say it all the way because I had a conversation with somebody and they were like, "What do you mean?" They took Charleston White's side of that conversation, and what I'm saying is, look, if you're into the arts, right? You're a writer, photographer, videographer, engineer. You like painting, right? And you're trying to do that as a living. Let me tell you, it's going to be extremely hard. I understand your passion. I understand. And someone's going to say, you got to believe. Look at the numbers. Look at the numbers. Out of all the videographers, photographers, the ones who are making a living and if you're talking about like a videographer like a Ryan Coogler who's making like 1%. So what I'm saying is, in that conversation, I took Sean Cotton's side because Sean Cotton said, "You know what? I'm fine with what I have here. I'm happy." He probably because what ends up happening in these spaces is people start going overboard. And like I was talking with my friend, once again, he was a videographer. He went to school he went to Georgia State Film School. And he's always like, man, this person client canceled, this client canceled. And then he'll get like gigs with like production teams, but they'll only last for a couple months. And then he's back on working at a temp service. And he's always, oh man, this is, and I had to ask him one day, we had a bit of a back and forth. I said, why do you complain so much about? He was like, man, because I'm like, well, you kind of knew when you started, right? That this is a space where it's extremely hard to do for a living and make money, right? So is it that, like, going in knowing that would make it a lot better for you so that you don't start expecting too much? You get what I'm saying? And how that correlates with the conversation is with Say Cheese, Sean Cotton, and Charleston White is, Say Cheese is like, I understand what you're saying. You're pretty much saying, because you said, I could have got Ada Ross, I could have got this, and he's saying, Sean Cotton's like, I don't want to be around those people. I don't want to start chasing it, and I got what I need here. And when you start, because the thing is, right, once you get in these art spaces, and I've never been like on top of nothing, I'm not going to sit here, but I did a little studio sessions, I did some engineering, tried beat making, not my thing, but I enjoy it. What happens when you start forcing it, right, and you're like trying to get in these circles, is you start realizing a lot of people fake, right? And when I say fake, I won't always say they're bad people, but what they're coming across is not really them. And I understand when you leave the house, you got to put on your representation hat. You can't come outside and be like you. But like the renting foreign exotic cars to find out it's not really theirs. Which I understand, if you're on a vacation, you want to rent a car, but fake designer, don't really want you to know their situations, just weird little stuff. And then you got a lot of finesses in there, people who are trying to scam you, and it's just a lot of bad business. And that's because once you start trying to get into that, I want to make a living off of this and be like big time, you start to realize, once again, the people at the top, it's not really talent. It's relationships and using of each other. And if you're okay with that and that lifestyle, which I don't believe Sean Cotton is, he's like, I don't want to be looking at what's the new hottest party, or the all-white party. Oh man, I got to get in there. That's no, nobody. You get around a guy like these streamers and you realize how weird they are. You're like, huh? I thought you were or you get around these artists and you thought they were, and so knowing your limit, and then also just being happy with the little piece. If you work at UPS and you like to be a drawer, or you're a writer, just, I don't understand, like, write your book, but it's like, no, I gotta be in the in crowd. I don't want people to look at me like this. What? There's this artist, right, who came out, he's like, something is steaming. He's like walking out of Subway in New York or something. Just a regular guy. That's what I'm talking about. Like, his content, you can tell is really him. And that's why people are like, wow, because he's being himself. It's rare to be yourself. He's just being himself. I think if that video would have got 500 views, I think he would have been fine with it. He would have went on to his life. He probably works at Amazon or something, I don't know. Or he's an electrician, and he's just like, I like making songs. What's wrong? But it's the whole, oh man, who does he think? And then it's like, yo, you don't want to get in that. And that's that Sean Cotton. He's saying, I don't want to get in that world. I like doing what I do. He probably home every night. He gets to see his family. He probably, he does it like a job. He doesn't want to make it his world. Like, he's just, no, bro, I'm fine with you know what I'm saying? Because, and this is the last point I want to make. And it ties in with the reason why I get upset when I start seeing the athletes and all of these superstars getting into like podcasting and whatnot. The reason being is, I don't know, like, I've been on the internet for a long time, right? So like, there was a point in time when when internet was for weirdos, right? Oh, these internet dudes, man, you internet in your house all day, man, you look crazy, right? And now they're all coming over here. And before, the little guys could actually make money. I don't want to call us little guys, but us regular, you can make money. Like, if the SoundCloud, but that's kind of, but even further back than that, I don't even think I remember when DDG first came out from years ago. You didn't have to be a basketball player or from LA. He's from Pontiac, Michigan. You had people who were from like Des Moines, Iowa, getting, you know what I'm saying, views. They're not getting rich, but they'll get a check in the mail. Hey, $700. Cool. What? I'll take that. You know what I mean? If it's for something you love to do, and he got a regular job, but DDG blew up. You can't do that anymore because the celebrity world has come down to our world and seen, and they're like, oh no, what we can't have is regular people who have regular lives carrying the conversation, we need to throw our people in who are assigned to us. They don't own the channel. We tell them what to say. Because Leo Cohen's over at YouTube, and I guarantee you, they asked Leo, if you don't know who Leo Cohen is, he's a music exec, but like Twitch. I remember when Twitch wasn't called Twitch. It was called something, but Amazon bought it. And then I remember when, the LimeWire, Bear shit, that's old school. That's old. YouTube used to just be a page. It was for like just regular people. But now it's and that's the reason why I said to people in the arts, don't be discouraged. Keep your day job. Do what you do for fun. If you enjoy it, do it. But it's like, no, I gotta, you know what I'm saying? If I'm a rap, I need to get the McLaren. Just be yourself, y'all. That's all I'm saying. And if you want to get into that world of the high class entertainers, and you're gonna have, and if you're coming in the door as a regular guy with no connections, it'll get weird for you. Because, like I said, a lot of those people in those spaces already have relationships with each other. So if you're coming through the doors and nobody, then don't be upset when Diddy says walk to Brooklyn for some cheesecake. Because that's what happens to people in that space. And that's the reason why I agree with Sean Cotton. No, I'm not gonna go around and try to chase and get in these people's world. It's I got my little world. It does good for me. Last thing, and this is how I'm gonna prove it. Last thing, because I got some time. Perfect example And I always try to say this. Look at someone like Basquiat, right? If I don't know who Basquiat is, he's a painter from New York in the, what was it, 80s? Never heard of him. Never heard of him. But I remember when his paintings would pop up and people were buying them for $2 million, $3 million. And I'm like, who's Basquiat? I did a research. They had a little film on him. And if you looked at Basquiat's life, it was horrible. I don't want to say horrible, but it was just a regular guy. But he would paint on walls, and he would paint. He died broke. I think he died of some disease, but he died broke. No money to his name. But you can tell he just loved to do it. Just something he's like, I gotta do this. And so that's what I'm saying. As artists, as writers, as musicians, as videographers, as whatever. If you're a writer, and you might not get that Pulitzer Prize winner. There's a lot of politics, and that's the top one. But when Basquiat passed, like I said, his paintings are worth millions. Hopefully his family gets that. But that, I hope, if you go into that world knowing that, and that's the reason why a lot of people are saying, I don't do the arts. But if you love to do it, do it. Life is short. You don't want to be out here, you know what I'm saying, doing a bunch of stuff that you don't want to do, or at least do it in a responsible way. You don't have to give it, if it's not making you money, you ain't got to give it all your time. You know what I'm saying? Because then that's when you're going to start hating what you're doing. If you're a writer, you get writer's block, you understand, stop. Because when you start forcing it, you just start, I don't want to do this anymore. You just say, when I got blocked, I put the pencil down. It might be 2-3 days later, I'll come back. Oh. It's just like making a song. If you ever made a song, some days you just go in there and it just comes straight to your head. Some days you just I can't think of nothing. That's the arts. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. That's the world we chose. That's the world we chose. That's the one. If you should have listened to your grandparent and got you a job down at the plant. You got good benefits, boy, and a good pension. But if you chose this life, hey, last thing. I know I said the last thing. If you can in the arts, and I'll be serious. If you can make $45,000 a year to fit, and you can do that in arts, that's if you look at the numbers, you got to that's why I would say break down the numbers. You know what I'm saying? Marry a wife, she's most likely gonna have to work too. You know what I'm saying? Because if you got 1 or 2 kids, I'm not gonna tell you how many kids to have, but it's expensive. Kids cost money, huh? You know what I mean? She brings in the same amount. Y'all live a simple little life somewhere and you get to do your art over here for fun. You like to do your painting. You can go to your local antique shop and say, hey, can I put some of my paintings up? You ever walk into a restaurant and you see a painting and they're like $200 and someone goes, man, who in the hell is going to pay $200 for you got to understand who's going to, see, only people who don't know why first you got to go buy the canvas. Then you got to go get the paint. Then you got to sit down and paint. It might take you days. It's inspiration. It's not just like it's like making a skyline. That takes time and money. I don't know. And that person saying it's worth $200, if you don't want to buy it, cool. To do, you do. And they're probably a manager at you know what I'm saying? Head supervisor at a grocery store somewhere. And this is what they do. So all our artists, guys out there, that's what I was saying about the conversation and the debate was Sean Cotton was saying, I make a living off of this. I know I'm not rich. I'm not a billionaire, but I make enough money to make a living. I'm fine with that. When I don't want to start running out there trying to knock on everybody's door just to be seen. I'm fine. And that's a great mindset to have in perspective. But anyway, y'all know the slogan, chase knowledge, don't chase money. Peace, love, and positivity.